Well, I would like to welcome for the new joiners once again. And from our side, we would like to apologize for the delay in the confirmation emails. And we will make sure that all this link from this webinar will be sent to all the ones who have subscribed to this webinar. So nothing will be missed. So let's get to it. My name is Ida, and the Product Marketing Manager in Lockpoint. And today I'll be your host for this online session. I'm very excited to present this latest version of Lockpoint, which will help security teams reduce the operational burden and become more efficient, regardless whether they're outsourced to MSSPs or reside in-house in organizations. I will be joined by my colleague Dinesh, who is product owner for Lockpoint SIEM. He will demonstrate the latest features of Lockpoint and how they can help streamline the routine tasks, allowing you to focus on what really matters. We will dive much more into that later. But before we jump into the presentation, I'd like to discuss some practicalities. Just to make sure that everybody knows, this session is being recorded. And if you have any questions, please post them either in the chat or there's a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. And we will come back to that at the very end of the presentation. So any questions you have, don't hesitate, just post them. And we'll do our very best to answer them. So let's get to it. This is the agenda for today. We will start by discussing the origin of some of the operational burdens that put pressure on analysts and security teams. After that, we will approach how Lockpoint addresses these problems and later discuss two of the main features of this release. This will be followed by a demo showcasing the latest features performed by Dinesh. And now, without further ado, let's just get to it. Well, it is in general well known that security analysts are stretched thin these days, while inefficient workflows and bottlenecks prevent them from achieving their goals in timely and cost-effective manner. A lot of tasks scream for their attention. For example, onboarding log sources, integrations, monitoring log source activity, checking the integrity of logs, etc. All of this, of course, have an impact on their operational efficiency, slowing them down in critical areas such as response times. On top of that, it also clouds their visibility with more unnecessary noise, increasing the risk of overlooking the actual threats. It, of course, naturally also increases the cost of security operations, making it very difficult for the upper management to justify them. But most importantly, all of these routine tasks not only steals away time from them, but it also diminishes their ability to protect the organization. And that's one of the things we try to look into with this new release. So let's look more into how Lockpoint addresses all of this. Well, with these new features, we'll help you onboard. With these new features, we are reducing the onboarding costs because we now can automatically accept syslog messages right after the installation. We have also expanded our templated for log sources, including FTP and ODBC fetchers. We also allow customers to be on top of health of their systems and their data ingested by easily monitoring if log sources are active or not with just one look. And we also enable you to run a quick command query to check the integrity of your logs. On top of that, we are also trying to remove the bottlenecks in order to help ease the operations by enabling you to manage multiple alert rules with just one click, and also to share individual dashboards, rules, and other analytics contents to admins to give them this visibility. Last but not least, we also enhance security with the integration with Maxmind's geographical context enrichment, and also encrypt email communication with START TLS. This is one of our main features of this release. And the second one we are reducing the onboarding costs. This default log accept feature means immediate log collection after installation, frictionless onboarding for new clients, and seamless scalability as you add new LogPoint instances, all without losing one single log. Will help you gain instant security visibility and reduce onboarding costs, ensuring you're protected from day one. With this new release, we'll help you with preventing critical loss during migration, but most importantly for new customers during new deployments. We'll help you optimize log collection for MSSPs, ensuring that all client logs are captured without data loss, with immediate log ingestion, easing onboarding. We also help you scale without data gaps. Customers can add new LogPoint instances and yet accept logs without interruptions, as opposed to not using default syslog accept. This allows teams to have a long-term strategy while ingesting unregistered logs. They can start with default syslogs and later configure sources and normalizers to ensure structured log injection. Last but not least, for sales and pre-sales in MSSPs, they can confidently show LogPoint's capabilities without worrying about missing logs due to misconfiguration. Real-time log ingestion ensures that security teams can evaluate them instantly. So with all of this said, let's jump into the actual interesting part, which will be led by Dinesh, diving into the product demo.
Okay, thank you, Adia, for the beautiful introduction and everything. So help me by confirming if my screen is visible or not. Okay. So hello, everyone. This is Dinesh from product team at LogPoint. So I'll be your host, which will be walking you through the highlights and demo for 760 LogPoint release. So be with me. So to start with the agenda, I will be going through the major feature and enhancement. Yes, there are definitely more things that we have did, but we want to highlight the major things. So agenda that we'll be going through are default log accept, source monitoring with status indicator, log integrity checker, default sharing of analytic contents to admin. And there are a few other enhancement and work that we have done in LogPoint 760 release, which I will be talking on brief. So what I will request is while I go through the presentation and demo, I will request everyone, as Ida said, to submit their questions in between, so we can answer it later on. So the format of the demo will be, I will be going through each demo after completing slide for each feature. So let's get started with the first one. So the default log accept, as Ida has already mentioned, so the default log accept along with 760 release is making LogPoint a default acceptor. So what we want SIEM as a default acceptor, not as a default rejecter. Previously, it used to reject all the logs being forwarded to it. So with 760, LogPoint is a default acceptor. So customers can now accept the syslog in LogPoint without any manual configurations. So it streamlines the setup process. So customers need not to worry about the loss of logs during the setups and deployments. So there are multiple use cases that it can solve. So few are listed as instant log capture for new deployments and optimized log collection for MSSPs. So MSSPs deploys a lot of LogPoint instance in different environment. So those instance will automatically start ingesting logs, syslogs. So there won't be any data gaps. So with the scale of organization, when they need to deploy any new instance to scale their infrastructure, so there won't be any data gaps, and it will also help to migrate from different vendors to LogPoint, because your logs won't be lost for few instance, few time too. So this is a customizable feature. So you can always go and create a new log source with your own normalizations, with your own routing policies, repos, and later on like configure a different source if you do not want default configuration to work on your received log. So I'll just move to the demo. Okay, so the logs that are being ingested by default are registered under unregistered log sources. So if you go into the source page and source for device underscore name is equals to unregistered log source, you will be receiving, you will be like seeing all the logs that are being received from different IPs. So you can either source it through the IPs, you can source it through the device name. So your log are being stored in the log point. This ensures that there is no data loss. So you can see a lot of logs are being sent from unregistered log source. As I said, you can always go and configure your own log source afterward and start receiving logs from that particular log source. And if you do not want this particular feature, you can always go and disable this particular feature through system settings and go to the syslog. You will be seeing this checkbox where you can uncheck it and save this change. You will be like not receiving the logs, and those logs won't be registered in the log point until you want. So that is one, the first point, default log accept. So please feel free to ask any questions in the questions area or the chat. We'll be answering it later on. So another one, we know that getting customers confident to the log point is our highest priority. So, and with this particular feature, source monitoring with status indicator, what we have tried is to gain the customers confident in their system. So this particular feature will enable users to monitor their inactive sources promptly. So there are multiple options we have like delivered to monitor the inactive sources. So first one is get color coding for the active and inactive sources on the listing page. And with that, whenever I know customer know that what are the logs, what are the log sources that are not sending logs or malfunctioned log sources, they get confident. They will make sure that all the log sources are performing well to send the logs in the log point. And this particular feature also enables users to define a threshold time after which that particular log source or a device will be flagged. So for fetches, it is double the time of the fetch interval. For the collector, you need to go and configure it, but by default, it's 60-minute configured for all the sources and devices. So I'll just move to the demo. And as I said, there are multiple options that we have delivered for this monitoring purpose. The first one is listing. The second one is enabling analytic contents. We have registered or enabled logs to be sourced for the inactive sources. And SNMP monitoring, we have also exposed a new OID so that the customers can monitor the inactive sources through the SNMP work. I'll be also showing the demo for each options. So as you know, this is a listing page for log sources. I have like few number of log sources, not much, but I have few number of log sources that are already configured. You can see we have a last log received column that shows when was the last time the log source sent the log to log point, and it also shows the color coding. So for the active sources, it shows the green, but for the flagged one, it shows yellow. And along with that, it also shows the last log receipt period from the sources. So this is one option that is like enabled for inactive source monitoring. And this is the same case for the devices. You can find it on the device listing page too. The another option is the list of log sources that are inactive. So if you go into the log point, into the source page of the log point, you will see sorry. Okay, I will continue. So if you go into the source page of the log point, what you will see is after entering this particular query, object is equals to matrix, status is equals to inactive, and field log source name. So what it does is list all the log sources that are inactive in the system. So this will enable analytic content to be built on top of it. So these queries are mentioned on the guide. You can refer to the doc portal of LogPoint. So this will list all the inactive log sources. You can create alert rule, dashboards, or report. A normal use cases will look like I need to monitor inactive log source daily at the end of the day and send a report to stakeholders or a higher management. So what we can do is create a report with a proper layout and send the list of log sources that are inactive and send the report to everyone. That the report is not a new feature that is present in the log point. You can do in the earlier versions too, but with this particular delivery, you can create a proper report for inactive log source monitoring. So here is the like location to set the inactivity threshold in minutes for each log sources. By default, it's 60 minutes, and for collector you have to configure it, but for the fetches it's 2 times the fetch interval. And I'll also like to show how we enable SNMP work monitoring for the inactive sources. So we have this particular command. Sorry if my screen is not visible. Okay. So this is a particular OID that we have exposed to monitor the inactive log sources in a system. So this goes like SNMP work and my machine's IP, and you have to enable SNMP work through the log point. The only new thing that we have enabled is this OID, by which users or new customers can monitor inactive sources. So when I enter this particular OID, SNMP work with this particular OID, I get the list of inactive sources that are currently present in the log point in my particular machines. The machine's IP is mentioned here. Okay, so these were the options that we delivered to monitor the inactive sources or devices. And this works for both log source platform, the new way of onboarding the sources, log sources, and the legacy way of onboarding the log sources was devices. It supports both the path of onboarding the log source. So with that, it's completion for the demo of source monitoring. And the another in the list is log integrity checker. So this particular feature enables customers with like proper defined privilege to check the integrity of log being stored in the log point. So say if my log are being tampered or not. So with this particular command line, this is a command line feature that we have delivered in 760. It will check the integrity of all the or defined repos logs in the log point. So it enables SIEM platform to validate and monitor the integrity of log data, ensuring logs are untampered, complete, and compliant with the regulatory standard. So this particular new feature is a command line, li admin command. So to run this command, you have to have a privilege of li admin. And the process of doing it is very simple. Go into the command line, enter the command check underscore integrity and the path of repo where you want to check the integrity, and it will check all the files that uh, that are included in this particular repo underscore log point, and it will present you with the result in a text file which is stored in home li admin, and the file name is log underscore integrity underscore result. So it will present result like this. So for this, I'll just go with a small demo, quick demo. Okay. So as I said, I need to have li-admin command. I have that. And what I need to do is I need to hit the command, as I said earlier, check underscore integrity and the path of repo that is required to check the integrity. So the command would look like this. So I entered check underscore integrity and the repo path. So as you can see, the process took a very short time because I do not have large number of repos, but it can take time as you grow with the number of files in your system. So I have a result in a text file written here. What I will do is just read this file and see what is the result. The summary of result can be seen here, but the detail of result is written in this particular file. So the test result shows the number of file checked, the number of past test, and we can see that one file has been tampered. So the integrity of one file, particular file, is tampered, and we can see which file is tampered. Now we can investigate on top of it. So this is about the log integrity checker. So another one in the list is default sharing of analytic contents to the admins. So as I said, we want users or the users of Logpoint to have the confidence in their system. So there could be few cases where every users might not have a knowledge of like resource consumption of running a query, creating a dashboard, creating an alert rule. So with these particular features, what we have done is increase the visibility of admins on what analytic contents are being run by the other users. So if any particular users create analytic content, by mean of analytic content, I am referring to dashboards, alert rules, source template, everything, and reports. So whenever an user create those analytic contents, it will be by default shared to the Logpoint administrator. So by increasing this visibility, what's the benefit? That might be the question. So this feature ensure that Logpoint administrator are in control of analytic contents being run in their system. So what they can do is go see what are the what are the analytic contents being running in their system, and change the configuration or delete those analytic content which are resource extensive. So this enable Logpoint admins to like have overall visibility of analytic contents running in their system. So where you can see it is in the shared page of every analytic content. If you can see here, this is an misconfigured. I just named it misconfigured analytic contents that was created by an other users, non-admin users, which is active 23 hours ago, and this is being actively used by that particular user, non-admin users. So with I'm a Logpoint administrator. So what I can do is edit that analytic the query, delete it if needed. So if I delete it, it will be deleted from the user who have created it. If I edit it here, update it here, it will be reflected on the owner's alert rules or analytic content. It is same with the dashboards. It is same with the reports. It is same with the source template. So that was about the default sharing of analytic contents. And if you want to see what would it look like for a normal user who is creating an analytic contents, I'll just log into the non-admin user. If I go to the knowledge base and create any alert rules, those alert rules, those dashboards are by default shared. So what you will see in the UI change is this particular share options is by default enabled. So those users won't be able to like change the share options to the Logpoint administrator. It is by default enabled with the full permission. So whenever a new analytic content is being created by any users, it will be shared to the admins, Logpoint administrator. So that was it for default sharing of analytic content. And I'll also love to talk about other enhancement that is being delivered along with 760 release. So log source support expansion. So if you are not aware of like what's log source, I'll show in a bit. But we have expanded support of other connectors like FTP, ODBC, Box Audit, Metal, Microsoft Defender, and NetFlow LPSC webhook collector. So if you are not aware of what a log source platform is, it's a new way and easier way to onboard your sources. What you will get is a templates for each type of vendors, each type of connectors. So if you create sources through this log source platform, you do not have to deal with any kind of policies, norm packages, because it's by default recommended here. It's by default recommended. You just have to select the repos. You do not have to deal with any kind of policies. Just go and select it. It's just two click away from onboarding your source. So in this platform, we have also expanded, as I named, the connectors, FTP, ODBC, and Box Audit, and other connectors are being supported here along with the templates. So if you want to onboard sources related to these connectors, you just go and choose the templates and enter your IP or address and just select the repo where you want to send the logs, and that's it. Okay. And another in the list is UI UX enhancement. We are always working to give a better experience to the users. So we are like progressing toward better user experience. For that, if you were old users of LogPoint, you have noticed that this page has been changed. So we are moving few pages along with the releases to the better and like easy to use UI and through the UI UX enhancement. Another in the list is bulk edit of alert rules. So this is though bulk edit was already available in LogPoint, but it wasn't available for all kind of alert rules, says shared alert rules or used alert rule. But along with the 760 release, we have enabled this option to all kind of alert rules. And there are few enhancement done for the indexing, and we can observe there is few reduction in size of indexed log. On our observation, it's around 10%, but it can vary from machines to machines. So there is certain reduction in the index size. And along with this release, customers can access up-to-date data for GeoIP plugin through their own license. If you are wondering where to do that, it will be in your plugin page. Sorry. And users can now enter their own license from GeoIP, and nothing changed to the current functioning of GeoIP, but an additional option to the users if they want more accurate and up-to-date data from GeoIP enrichment source. Let me see if I can show the UI where you can enter it. So it's in the plugin page, you can enter the account ID and license key from Maxmind GeoIP to get accurate and up-to-date data. And security is like always the first focus area where LogPoint want to deliver the most robust security secured product. So to do that, we have upgraded Ubuntu along with numerous packages in the 760 release. So with releases, you get more robust security posture while using LogPoint. And we have also like resolved around 70 customer reported bugs. If you want to see what are the bugs being resolved with this particular release, you can always go into the release note and see the details. So I wanted to share this along with the demo. So that's all from my side. And now the time we take the questions. So thank you everyone for listening, being with me along the demo. So Ida, this is the time we take the questions.
Thank you so much for your really nice presentation, Dinesh. There has come quite a few questions for you.
Okay.
So let's start with the first one. In regards to default syslog accept, I can see the flexibility it gives, but on the other hand, I think it poses a security issue as it will be easier to perform a denial of services directing large amounts of logs towards the LogPoint server.
Okay, so yes, we know that we always wanted to have that options to disable this particular feature if we are worried about this. If we are like migrating from one vendor to another vendor, we just want to open the gate But if you do not want that particular features default log accept after a certain interval of time, you can always go and disable that options from the system setting page. Thank you for the question.
So the next one is, which ports will be used for default syslog accept? Do we need to open any ports manually?
No, it's 5.4 port, so you do not have to open the port manually.
How exactly is the integrity of logs checked? As in, how would it find tampering?
So as you know, we store a SASM along with the logs. So if we compare the SASM along with the logs being stored, so it map those two entities and check for the integrity.
And the last question, what about manual configured log sources from device lists?
What about manual configured log sources from device lists? It's remained as it is. Every functionality that I showed is available for the device manual configured log sources from device list too. So be it like monitoring of sources through the status indicator, SNMP OID, or through the logs. So you get all the options.
So let's come a few more questions. How is normalization done for default log accept?
So for the default log accept, it's a default configurations. So you can expect like a default logs being normalized. So the default normalization that we have in log point is being used for the default configurations. So if you want a like high level of analytic content, we recommend you to go and create a new log source along with your preferred normalizations and preferred repos. So the default normalization is used, and the repo used for the default accepting of logs is default repo.
So another question, if I disable the default log option, what would system behavior look like?
So if you disable the default accept of logs, it will block all the like logs being forwarded to the log point. But we already had a feature in the log point to list what are the IPs or IPs that are sending logs to the log point. It will list all the IPs in the blocked IP. If you go into the device creation page, you will be seeing bulk device add options. You will see the IPs being used to send the logs to the log point.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dinesh.
Thank you, Aida. And thank you everyone for the questions.
Thank you everybody for attending and all your really good questions. This is all for now. Thank you.